Hello, Year 3. Welcome to your next English lesson. Now, today we're going to do some creative writing. We have done this lots in class before. I thought it'd be a really nice idea for you to do some creative writing at home. And the targets for today's creative writing will be to use full stops correctly and try to use some describing words, some adjectives in your writing. Before we do that though, we have an activity that we're all going to do at home to start with. I've drawn a picture here of SpongeBob, which I'm sure lots of you have seen before. And I'm going to give everyone 5 minutes. So in a second, I'd like to pause the video and just see how many words you could think of to describe SpongeBob. Really good describing words. Let me just give you one to start with. I think SpongeBob is very kind. Now, if you haven't seen it before and you're not really sure, just have a look at the picture and write some words you think you could use to describe this person, what you think they might be like. Give yourself around 5 minutes and then come back and we can put a few onto the board and we can see if we have some of the same ideas. Welcome back, Year 3. I'm sure you've paused the video, you've just had a few minutes and you've thought of lots of words to describe SpongeBob. I'm just going to add a few more and then maybe we'll have had some of the same words. I think he's very friendly. He looks very happy in the picture and he's normally very happy. He can be a little bit silly sometimes. He's quite small. Yellow. He always looks very smart in his clothes. So there's just a few words. I'm sure you thought of lots of other ideas as well. The reason we did that though is because we were thinking of lots of good describing words, because that's what you'll be doing today. Hopefully trying to use lots of good describing words to describe the people or the objects or the places in the story that you're going to carry on for me today. This is the sheet that you'll have today. Just to start with, I'm just going to read the opening to the story. Marcus walked into the cupboard. He couldn't feel the back of it. He walked deeper into the cupboard. He started to get colder. Suddenly, he stepped out of the back into a magical adventure. Now, lots of you may know, I've got a few ideas there from The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe of a character walking through the cupboard into a magical world. And I just want you to carry on the story. You haven't got to finish the story. You don't even have to use all the space on the sheet. I would rather you did 6 or 7 lines and checked your work really carefully, trying to make sure you met these targets, than if you wrote 15 lines, but you weren't thinking about the targets we're working on today. I will look at it when you send it to me, but remember, I'm not marking everything that you do. I'm concentrating on those targets for today. The targets of you using full stops correctly and checking describing words. So that should mean maybe for lots of you, thinking really carefully about your sentence, checking that it makes sense, knowing exactly what you want to write, writing that sentence very clearly, and then putting your full stop. And then moving on to your next sentence. Take it one sentence at a time, then you can check that you're punctuating your writing and that your writing makes sense. And if you can, when you talk about a person or a place, try to use some lovely describing words. That picture that you've got in your head, you need to paint that same picture for the person reading your story. So use lots of lovely describing words. So just as a reminder, hopefully today, when you continue the story, you can try to use full stops. Hopefully everyone can try to use full stops. Try not to miss full stops out of your writing. You might be able to use some describing words as well. On the sheet, I've said use 10 describing words, but use as many as you can. And as an extra target for some of you, maybe you can try to begin some of your sentences in different ways. Think about how to start your sentences. So you can choose where the character goes, who he meets, if he has a nice time, if it's scary, if he gets back, what happens when he's there. You can choose anything you like. I'm just looking at those 2 targets for today. using full stops correctly, and hopefully try and choose some nice describing words as well. I really look forward to seeing them, Year 3. Thank you for listening.